If you've tried pricing out cloud versus on-prem ERP, you've probably hit a wall. Half the time, you can't get a straight answer. It's buried between sales calls, and even then, you rarely see the full picture. We've been helping businesses pick the right ERP since the 90s, across every tech shift, from early SaaS to today's hybrid setups and AI buzz. And honestly, one of the biggest pitfalls we see is underestimating what this stuff actually costs. I'll show you what vendors leave out so you don't blow your budget. Okay, first things first, let's talk pricing, then dig into hidden fees. These are ballpark figures, but your actual costs could vary a lot depending upon your industry and user count. We can help you get a real quote, but more on that later. Cloud ERP usually works like a subscription. You pay monthly or yearly, and it covers your license, hosting, and support. On-Prem ERP is more like a one-time purchase. You buy the license outright and pay for everything else separately, like support and implementation. That said, some newer on-prem systems are trying out subscription models too, so those lines are starting to blur. Now, if you're a small business, an on-prem ERP might run you around 21 grand a year, or about $1,700 a month. Implementation is typically double the license cost, so figure around 42 grand. That puts your first year total cost of ownership at about $63,000. For enterprise setups, costs can hit 500 grand to over $1 million upfront, once you factor in the license, hardware, and setup. But after that, annual costs drop off. Support and maintenance usually land between $100,000 and $200,000 per year. Cloud ERP flips that around. Small to mid-sized businesses might pay 5 to 30 grand a year, or $400 to $2,500 a month. Implementation is still double the license fee, so total first-year costs typically fall between 15 and 90 grand. For larger companies, cloud ERP often starts around 500 grand per year, and yeah, it kind of keeps going at that rate. So while it's cheaper up front, the long-term costs stack up fast. Most businesses hit the break-even point around year 8. That's when cloud subscription fees tend to catch up to what you would have spent on an on-prem system, including support. Okay, now for the most part, vendors don't talk about the hidden costs. With on-prem, you've got hardware to replace every few years. IT staffing and training can sneak up on your budget. If your system crashes and you need emergency support, that's not cheap. And if you customize your setup, there's ongoing maintenance, what we call customization debt. It's a drain on time and developer resources just to maintain functionality as your business grows. Then there's compliance. With on-prem, you're fully responsible for proving your environment meets standards like HIPAA, SOX, or FDA regulations. That often means paying for consultants, audit prep, and third-party tools. With cloud ERP, the vendor typically handles most of the infrastructure level compliance. You still need to manage how your team uses the system though. But the cloud has its own traps. Migration isn't always free. Just getting your data from one system to another can cost you. Overages for storage, bandwidth, or API usage can sneak up fast. And vendors, they love to raise prices. We've seen companies get hit with 10 to 20% increases, often without much notice. Worse, features you started with can be moved to higher tiered plans, meaning you pay more just to keep your workflows running. Okay, so here's the thing. Most vendors aren't going to spell this stuff out for you, especially when it comes to post-launch expenses. That's what we do. At Software Connect, we've helped thousands of businesses compare real-world ERP costs, cloud, on-prem, hybrid, all of it. If you want someone to walk you through what it might actually cost your company without the sales pitch, head over to softwareconnect.com. We'll help you sort it out for free, no pressure. Let's shift gears and talk about control, because dependent upon how your business runs, this doesn't just affect how your ERP works. It directly impacts how much you'll pay to keep it working. With on-prem ERP, you're buying control. Your IT department runs the show. Updates, patches, backups, everything. That's why on-prem is still common in industries like pharma and defense, where compliance risk is high. You also control your disaster recovery. If your system goes down due to technical glitches or hardware failures, you're on the hook when things break. That means having the right talent on staff, and in today's market, senior ERP admins aren't always cheap or easy to find. And customization can go two ways. Systems like Tally Prime are mostly out of the box, faster to implement, and lower cost up front. Others, like on-prem versions of Infor Cloud Suite Industrial, let you deeply configure your workflows. That flexibility is powerful, but it's also more expensive to implement and maintain. And here's something that most CFOs don't think about until it's too late: M&A due diligence. If you're planning acquisitions or might be acquired, cloud systems with clean data exports and standard APIs make that process smoother. On-prem systems with heavy customizations, they can become deal killers or negotiation leverage against you. Cloud ERP shifts that trade-off. Here you're trading control for convenience. With tools like NetSuite or Acumatica, the vendor handles the heavy lifting. That's great if you want to keep IT lean or support remote teams. But you're also betting on your vendor's infrastructure. What's their actual uptime track record? And if they go out of business, it happens, what's your data extraction plan? We've seen companies spend six figures just migrating off a failing cloud platform. You're also working within their framework, so you're limited when it comes to deeper customizations. You'll likely need to adapt your processes to fit the system's design rather than the other way around. That said, modern cloud solutions are offering increasingly sophisticated customization capabilities. So how do you decide what makes the most sense from a pricing standpoint? Start off with how your team actually works and where the biggest costs or risks live in your infrastructure. Multiple locations, the cloud gives everyone access without the extra infrastructure or VPNs. A single office with strong IT might win on a long-term value after that break-even point. Need to connect barcode scanners, shop floor machines, or medical devices? On-prem or hybrid would be more reliable and cheaper to maintain than cloud connectors, which aren't always built for that kind of load. Low on IT staff? The cloud may look pricey, but can replace the need for a full in-house tech team. Industry may play a role too. Manufacturers often keep core systems on-site to avoid costly downtime, but use cloud dashboards to check quality metrics or production statuses. Healthcare providers lean towards on-prem or private cloud to reduce compliance exposure. Fast-scaling e-commerce brands, they tend to go all in on cloud for speed, integrations, and scalability so orders don't fall through the cracks as they grow. How do you frame this decision for your board? Start with your business continuity. If your ERP is down for hours, what's the revenue impact? That number should drive your uptime requirements and disaster recovery investment. Next, think about your growth strategy. Planning aggressive expansion? Cloud scales faster. Eyeing acquisitions? Considering how easy it'll be to integrate different systems. And don't forget about opportunity cost. Every dollar in IT resource you put towards maintaining infrastructure is a dollar not going towards competitive advantages, whether that's AI initiatives, customer experience, or new market expansion. At the end of the day, there's no one-size-fits-all answer here, but there is a best fit for how your company operates. If you're trying to figure out which deployment option is right for you and what it'll actually cost, come talk to us at softwareconnect.com. We'll help you make the call based on what you really need. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. We're hearing more companies are switching back to on-prem. Are you tempted? Drop a comment. We'd love to hear your take. And if you want options broken down by industry and use case, don't forget to check out our video of the best ERP software.